Alrighty. So I'm doing this for my tea. Simple as that. No more, no less. I'm doing a butternut squash risotto. Yeah. So I'm just going to go through the key points of the risotto making process. All right. So I'm working on other things at the same time. Like I say, I'm having a nice little healthy salad. I'm going to get rid of this COVID gut that I've got. Might have had the COVID injection, but I've definitely not got the COVID weight. That'll happen as I get my ass back into gear. Boris is now on the TV to discuss going back to college, hopefully from the 8th or thereabouts. So what I've got in here, nice and simple. Sweated off some shallots, I've diced up some shallots. I'm going to go in with my rice. This is for 2, so you know it's a main course, it's not a starter. So obviously you bear your portion control in mind here, please. Yeah. In with your rice, you need to cook your rice off a little bit, start sweating it down without colour, without burning in any way, shape or form. Yeah, like I say, it's a risotto of butternut squash, so I've done some stuff prepped already. I've got a little bit of dice to go on the top as garnish. Again, I'm at home, I'm not working in a Michelin starred restaurant. It's all about flavour and texture for me, so that's there, I'm happy with that. I'm going to colour that down. I've got myself a bit of veg stock here. For me, it's really straightforward, simple. Stock cube, not messing around too much. So basically, see, I've just sweat that rice up a little bit. What I'm going to do now is start adding my stock. Key point is hot stock, hot pan, hot rice. Yeah, this is what we're looking for. Remember that when we're doing the big test, people. Couple of ladlefuls for me to begin with. Happy days. Like that. Might not use all that stock because of what I've got here as well. I've got some squash puree. Alright. I want an intense flavour on my product. Yeah, nice. Bam. Lovely hit of flavour. Alright. That's what we're looking for. Okay. So I could just have the diced squash going through it, happy days, but it will not taste of the squash. Or if you're doing a pea risotto, a pea puree would be good, or even a bit of beetroot for a beetroot risotto would be even better. Yeah, add a bit of the vegetable in a puree form into your risotto, adds bang on flavour. Alright, so that's what we're looking for. And here I've got a little bit extra puree that I've just diced up off the trimmings. What I did with that was straight into the microwave. Nice and simple, so I still have a little bit of texture, but it's going to cook out as well at the same time. As that's ticking over nicely, I'll go through the rest of the garnish, as it were. I'm going to do what I classically do at home, what I've always done in the restaurant as well. I've added, and I will add, some classically mascarpone cheese. Unfortunately I haven't got mascarpone, a last minute decision, so I'm using cream cheese. Mascarpone is an Italian version of cream cheese, so all that means it won't be as rich, but that's going to go in for richness and texture. And on top of that, I'm going to add classically, as is, parmesan, grated parmesan on the top, finish with a little bit of chopped herb, and to finish with, in here, because that's what I'm having tonight, is a little bit of air-dried ham, which I'm crisping up in the oven. Again, another classic way of doing it. That's lovely, lovely flavour to the product. Something a little different. The rice I'm using today is arborio, classic arborio rice. You can get other ones, carinoli, and like me, there's another one that always escapes me. But as you can see, I've cooked out that rice. All the liquid is gone. I'm going to now add more of the stock. You don't want to overfill it, you don't want to overrush it. So take your time. Patience is a virtue, especially when making something as luxurious and rich as a risotto. As you can see, my squash is nicely caramelising, giving good colour. still got texture to it, still got firmness. Okay, like so. We'll start by adding some of this squash puree in there. It's another amount of liquid, I know, but the rice is going to absorb that flavour and colour into it. They say if I just put the dice in, you wouldn't get that depth of colour. They say to finish, I'm going to add a little bit of chopped parsley. So for instance, like you say, you can do a pea and mint, beetroot and goat's cheese, squash and a little bit of chilli going on in there, yeah. You can do a mixture, you can do a squash and pea. What else could we do? There's plenty out there, there's plenty of vegetarian choices for a risotto, alright? They say patience is a virtue. La-da-dee-dee-dee. I say I might not use all the stock because I've got the puree there. That might loosen it up as much as I need to know. Remember what you're looking for in the risotto rice itself. Still have individual grains, but when you break it down like so, at the minute it's still a solid lump. You can then basically break it down and it'll crack, or you have two or three little dots of white al dente rice. You don't want to overcook it to mush, unless you make an arancini. Arancini are the arancini are a classic risotto fritter, as it were. It's basically the risotto rice. Normally the risotto rice that's been left over from a dish, a family dish, the next day it's then basically what you would do. Classically you would have a little bit of mozzarella in the middle, a bit of parmesan, maybe a bit of meat stuffed inside the rice ball, and the ball is paned and deep fried. Yeah, that's one way you could look at doing an arancini. Looking for your main course, you possibly look at that. Like I said, I'm using up all the puree just for the simple fact that it's got a depth of colour, which is what I want. Like I said before, you could just go with the squash itself and the rice and have a plainer rice dish. My only issue with that, I'm happy with that, otherwise I'm leaving that the way it is. My only issue with that would be the development of the flavour, because you'll just have risotto rice base flavour and then the squash coming through it, whereas now I'm going to have a nice depth of flavour of the squash all the way through. Same with peas. Yeah, it is. What's that? And that, guys, is how we're looking to do the risotto, yeah?